Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I wanted to show you quickly a junk journal I just made for the holiday season. It's what I would call a December daily, with the idea being that you journal something every day in December, the holiday season for many of us. So I made this for a friend who was wanting to have one but was having a little bit of trouble maybe trying to figure out what papers and stuff she wanted to use. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of throw this together for her, send it hopefully by Monday so she can enjoy it for the holiday, or for the Christmas, December, winter season. This is what I did. So you can see I've tied it with a ribbon. When we have Christmas and people are unpackaging their presents, I often snag up the cloth ribbons or something like this. I think this is called, is this tulle? Anyway, that netting fabric. This has some glitter in it. I thought it was super pretty, and somebody last year used this on all their gifts, and I thought, I'm not going to throw that away, so I grabbed it and saved it for this year. So I like a closure like this, by the way, that you can tie, untie, retie, or I like to use a little elastic band of some sort, but I think that will be durable enough. Another thing you can use to tie a journal is if you have some wire ribbon. I really enjoy using this as well. It was a toss-up between this and this, but I kind of liked the sparkle. So anyway, let me just show you what I've done and hope this inspires you to make a December daily. If you haven't, there's still time. You can still record your holiday memories, and if you don't want to make one, get a notebook, buy a cheap journal at the store, and just decorate it with things like, some Christmas washi or some Christmas stamps, stickers, you name it. Any bits and pieces that you have that's holiday themed, put it in a journal. It doesn't have to be a homemade journal. I like doing that, but the important thing is that you are commemorating the season and being a memory maker for the people you love. So that's what inspires me anyway. I did a little the snowflake, I was going to say star. Snowflake stamp on there with some Distress Oxide. It didn't show up real well, and then I just wrote her a note in there, a quick hello. Got that glitter stuff everywhere. I used the same stamp and did blue snowflakes, and I enclosed some extra journaling supplies. One thing I like to do is find pictures in old Christmas books or advertisements and cut out shapes that would look pretty embellishing a page. So, that's something you can do that is totally free. Whatever flyers you get in the mail, use that. I added a gold clip here. Take that off for now, and I use this craft cardstock for the cover. This is a little wider than a normal traveler's notebook in the wide or narrow size. This is more like 4 3/4 versus 4.25 or 4.3, and it's about 8 3/4. Typically they're around 8 1/4 or 8 1/2, somewhere in between there. Anyhow, I decided to make this a little wider so that as she fills up the journal, it has room to grow. It can bulk out a little bit. And also, I didn't want to have to trim up all the edges. Sometimes when you get a bulky journal, these pages that are in the center will start to stick out further. And you can trim those. But in this case, I decided not to because I felt like this little extra width would make that unnecessary. That's not a bad thing to do. Certainly it looks neat and tidy, but I find with my amateur cutting skills, I end up usually making it look worse. So I wanted to just leave that alone. Leave well enough alone. I put a Target dollar spot pocket in there. I just threw in this little journaling card so she would know that that was there. It could be easy to miss because it's clear, but it's for whatever. And then these kinds of pictures in this particular book are from Christmas books that I bought in bulk at a book sale a couple seasons ago. Every year our library system has a used book sale to raise money for the library. I went in and bought on the last day, like for $5, a big huge bag full of Christmas books. And I bought it with the purpose that I would tear them up and use them in journals. So here's some scrapbook paper. I thought the white paper clip looked kind of snowy and wintry. So this is just a journal spot. This is paper that's from like a book of like, I think it's just a place to do like spelling words. It's like a school book. More magazine. I glued this on to hide the directions that went with a particular recipe, but it's incomplete, so I just didn't think it looked that great, so I just put this here, but I thought that picture was kind of pretty and holiday-ish looking. Kind of a homespun flavor there. I have these different tabs from Illustrated Faith, a Christmas set from a few years back. This is cardstock here, and you can see my rough edge where I tried to cut it. I like to put Christmas music in the journals, and then different sized papers just make it more of a junk journal, more variety, I think is fun. So all this space is to record memories, like writing, journaling, or gluing things on. So if you get a stamp on a Christmas card and you like the stamp and you think it's pretty, put that on. Or rip out a return address of somebody that you are happy to get a card from and commemorate the fact that they sent you a card. And that seems like a little thing, but I know, like having had my very good friend die about a year and a half ago, anything that has her writing on it or her name is extra special to me. So think about that. You know, is this somebody that you want to just remember their handwriting or something? Someday you might be glad that you saved that little tidbit. Maybe you don't have to do the whole card, but something with their name or something they wrote to you. This was actually a money card that one of my kids got last year, and I just took that. I thought it was super pretty, very festive. So I put that in there, and then the other side where their aunt and uncle wrote to them, I covered that up because this is for somebody else. Put a couple little snowman stickers. I used ledger paper. This is kind of plain looking here, but since I've enclosed these embellishments, she can really decorate the pages how she wants. It's a very hard thing to make a junk journal and to keep it streamlined. I have found I'm always wanting to add more and more and more, and this person's very creative, so she can add stuff to embellish the pages as she wishes. Here's a Christmas card. Because this is the narrow size, I had to kind of cut the card a little bit, but she can cover up that writing with a little piece of ephemera if she wants. The sentiment was that beautiful Bible verse from Isaiah 9:6 that's foretelling the coming of Messiah, and so that's just a beautiful verse there and what Christmas is truly all about. Here's a Santa, a playful element in here. This is part of another Christmas card, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It is my dream to take a horse-drawn sleigh ride someday. I don't know if I'll ever get to do that, but it's a wish I have. Here I made a little tuck spot. I just took this tag, cut out, and a corner rounded this festive bright green paper and put it in there. I love pine cones, and so this vintagey look I think goes well with a little pop of a brighter red. So nothing gets too somber looking. I like the calm, peaceful elements to some of these book pages, but I also don't want it to just be kind of more on the serene. I want it to have a mix of festive and cheery and sparkly with the more contemplative, or just like a slower, calmer feel. Favorite thing to do is to add these little paper bags. I did that here. The one end, of course, is open. The bottom end I just trimmed so that she can use these little areas as little tuck spots. So you can put in a photo or a tag from a gift, or a little journaling card where you want to just write something down about the season and kind of tuck it away. Here's more pictures from a book. Again, stained glass from a book. Ledger paper. I had this hunk of scrap cardstock from making journals similar to this not too long ago. Glued on this die cut. Here's a Deck the Halls music from, again, a Christmas book, which I think looks really kind of a fun and traditional look there. And then the center of the journal, I chose to have a pretty picture that is nice to just see the full thing of. Some of these you just get partial views, but here is just a nice center thing. And you might ask, well, what do you do on pages like this? To me, they are accent pages. They just look pretty to look at, and it mixes up the writing and the other elements, but it's also a great place, again, say this was a photo. Glue the photo on there, or a scrap of wrapping paper, or a flyer or brochure from something you might have done. And here, I've just paper clipped in this tag, and this has her initial on it. I did have the bell on there, but it came loose, so I'm probably going to clip that on to the paper clip because that can get a little bit annoying. Let's put this back though. Anyway, I like the jingle bell idea, but it kind of gets floppy, so I'll just kind of insert that there and let it dangle off the side of the paper clip. There I've put a pretty stamp. It's a barn in the snow. I just got that this year. More snowmen. I mean, now the second half is just the opposite side of everything you've seen before, but you kind of get the idea. If there's any kind of writing or something that's like the back of a card, as in this case, or something that you want to cover because you don't think it looks that nice for a journal page, just cut out a picture from one of your books that are for scrap, or a magazine picture, or a label, or anything to cover that. I kind of did that here too with this ornament die cut. I think she'll have plenty of space to write and plenty of space to attach stuff for December. It's kind of more Christmas themed, I guess, but I think it also can go through the end of December into the new year. More music. Here's a journaling card I clipped on, and I took one of these big paper clips that I recently bought and just tied on some of this fabric. This here I think is very pretty, and it came around a Christmas bouquet. It was that decorative paper that they put around it, so there was like cellophane, and then there was this green kind of flocked ribbon, and I thought it was really pretty. It's got a shimmer to the ribbon, and it has that flocking on there. So I just saved that, and now I'm using it to make a scrappy bow for a junk journal. Another Christmas stamp. I was trying to read One Horse Open Sleigh. That's what it says. It took me a minute. Here's the other end of that, other side of that spelling workbook. And then at the very last, I took the front of a Christmas card. Behold the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world. That's from John 1:29. I thought that is a summary of Jesus coming to the earth. So I just thought that was pretty. Nice way to end it. Again, the white kind of snow looking paper clip. And then that card, she can write on the right here. It can be a journaling space. So I just tore off the part that said who it was from, and it was from last year or a couple years ago. And now it is becoming repurposed as a journaling card. I think that's a great way to reuse Christmas cards. And I just thought that was a real pretty picture. I love these soft, muted Christmas colors. I don't know, I just think that's very pretty. So that is what my friend is going to get. She knows it's coming. I will probably post this soon after I get it mailed to her. So anyway, there you go. Make a Christmas journal or decorated notebook and have fun commemorating your special memories of the season. I hope this was inspiring to you. Give it a try. We'll see you next time.